I will now express TS 100,000 Googolplex factorial. My very best quality work is TS 100,000 Googolplex factorial. I'm a world changer, feminist, heterosexual, and biological son of God. I'm one of the best trusted advisors here on planet Earth. I'm reasonably humble. I'm one of the better trusted advisors to President Trump 47, and I advise Lily and Tulsi for New World Order, security strategy, and for big ideas. So I'm a world changer, feminist, heterosexual, and biological son of God. And in this video article, this vlog, I plan to be mentioning some ideas about the importance of seeking to move beyond just the information presented into turning it into procedural knowledge and theoretical knowledge. But before we get there, I suppose I'll now quickly share with you my best friends, I suppose. So I'm friends with Lily, who is the chair of the Council of the New World Order from the furthermost infinity universe into the far future. Lily is most powerful. I'm also friends with Sanna Marin, my betrothed, with Sanna Marin being the former Prime Minister of Finland. I'm also friends with Tulsi, who is the chair of the Council of the New World Order from Easter Sunday of this year. I'm also good friends with Erica. I'm also good friends with the Star Father-Daughter team from beyond the furthermost infinity universe into the far future. I also am friends with President Donald John Trump 47. I also am good friends with Ursula von der Leyen, with Claudia Sheinbaum, with Georgia Maloney, and with Elon Musk. So now getting on to the topic at hand, which is pretty much most business books only have their perfected version of the book, I suppose, as only 5% or even only 1% explicit knowledge, and the rest is all implicit or implied knowledge. That's right. When it comes to to most business books, or even many textbooks too, but especially business books, I suppose, they are 5% perfected, or even only 1% or less than 1% perfected. It's a great book, I suppose. It's called Aligning Strategy and Sales by Frank V. Sespeed. He talks, I suppose, about fortune cookie knowledge, like, for instance, be customer focused or teamwork, which is knowledge which is very easy to say, fortune cookie material, I suppose, but it's very hard to perfect, I suppose. So when you're reading a book, I suppose, they talk about being customer focused or teamwork or building alliances or creating a success cult of zealots who work as an obsession, I suppose, or even other things like creating high performance teams. So you want to be moving far beyond the fortune cookie wisdom of just a soup of buzzwords, I suppose, and into being able to take the time to turn them into procedural knowledge, I suppose. So what is the procedural knowledge to be more customer focused? So what is the procedural knowledge to create high performance teams? So what is the procedural knowledge to become most powerful? So what is the procedural knowledge to become most wealthy? So what is the procedural knowledge which causes for businesses to become most successful? So what is the procedural knowledge which causes leaders of nations to get elected? So what is the procedural knowledge which causes leaders of knowledge to become the most pro-business leader of nation in their country and to become the most successful leader of nation in the history of their country? So these are all various things which you can consider, I suppose. So it's so important to move far beyond fortune cookie knowledge, I suppose, into trying to turn all of the ideas and key buzzwords and terms from the book, I suppose, or from the YouTube video, or from the seminar you may attend, or from the conference you may attend, I suppose. So turn them all into procedural knowledge, and also try as well to be able to perfect the theoretical knowledge, I suppose, in terms of the cause and effect relationships which are at play, I suppose, when creating each of those buzzwords, I suppose. We're within the theory of creating each of those buzzwords. So you want to be working hard to move far beyond, I suppose, just a fish soup of words in a business book, or just beyond a fish soup of words in a YouTube video, I suppose, or just or beyond or beyond the given theoretical knowledge from a seminar into trying hard to trying hard to create the high quality procedural knowledge to be able to implement each of those ideas, I suppose, and also about trying to create the theoretical knowledge, I suppose, to ideally be able to find ways to perfect the procedural knowledge and to perfect the theoretical knowledge, I suppose, in terms of the cause and effect relationships. So this is a interesting way to proceed, I suppose. So when it comes to sales, I suppose, so I think it's wise to move beyond being a business which just focuses on selling products which have to be manufactured, I suppose. Because if you have product manufacturer, I suppose, they have to have a warehouse to store them. You have to sell all of the manufactured products from each batch, I suppose, or manufacturer, I suppose. And what's wiser, I suppose, is to become a business in the knowledge economy, which moves beyond selling physical products, I suppose, into instead selling knowledge, especially, I suppose, in terms of selling solutions to overcome problems which businesses care about. So there is a excellent book by Franks v. Cespedes about aligning strategy and sales, I suppose. You could possibly be thoroughly reading it and studying it, I suppose, and talking about it with your team, I suppose, then trying to possibly go to businesses, I suppose, and help businesses to better align their strategy with their sales, I suppose, or you could possibly be trying to help businesses better to develop better business models, I suppose. Or you could be helping businesses to create better strategy, I suppose. Or you could be helping businesses to better implement their strategy. We want to be trying to move, I suppose, beyond someone who is, you want to be seeking first to establish your credibility, I suppose, via creating a portfolio of your work with which to be inviting powerful people into, I suppose. So rather than trying to go for the traditional sales, I suppose, where you try to start off by wowing them in a very impressive way before you then sell to them, I suppose, you'll want to be making the sales conversation secondary because you have been able to wow them within your portfolio of your work, which is all network marketing content, as a way to help for you to establish your credibility, I suppose, from the perspectives of you helping to be someone who your prospective customers, with which your customers and prospective customers from within your network marketing portfolio of work, I suppose, to help for them to know you, like you, and trust you. So it's all about trying to work hard so that they know you, like you, and trust you as good and loyal friends who you welcome into your friendship group, I suppose, because they know you, like you, and trust you, and highly value the quality of your work within your portfolio of your work, I suppose. So you possibly could be having a freemium business model, I suppose, whereby you could possibly be giving much information free of charge, I suppose, as a way to, off the scales, impress your powerful friends, and also creating additional work with which they have to pay to get access to, I suppose. Or you could be, from your clients in your freemium business model, I suppose, you could then be possibly selling them work, I suppose, to help for them to overcome the major challenges they face. So it's all about trying to work hard to, via text chat, I suppose, be able to know them, like them, and trust them, and have them know you, like you, and trust you, I suppose, and working hard to then have quality ideas to sell, and then working hard to find a way to be able to understand them in terms of why they do the things they do, especially in terms of their hopes and dreams, so you're able to ideally know them better than they know themselves, so you're then able to re-educate them, I suppose, into learning how you can help them the most, I suppose, via your high-level ideas, which you can be able to use, I suppose, via having the value conversation with them, I suppose, because sales shouldn't be about selling people things they don't want, or selling people products they don't want, I suppose, but more about instead, and it shouldn't be about having to have a pitch deck of PowerPoint slides with which to pitch your value, with what you sell, I suppose, to prospective clients, I suppose. Instead, I suppose, should be about people who know you, like you, and trust you, because they're able to read through your portfolio of work, which you add to each day, so that they know you, like you, and trust you, I suppose. And then you're able to then have a value conversation with them, where you're able to then talk about the types of value with which they want to be purchasing from you, I suppose. So you may still need to be doing some re-education to re-educate them as to what's possible, but it mostly is about learning about their pain points and learning about their unmet needs, I suppose, and trying to find ways to sell to them the value in which they want to purchase from you, I suppose, especially from the foundation of the high quality brand and reputation which you have built from your portfolio of high quality ideas within your groups and within your online groups, and even within your online email list, I suppose. So I do think you want to be someone who moves far, far, far beyond what they think they want, I suppose, and really working out, finding powerful ways to be able to re-educate them into the very high quality, high value, big ideas to transform their effectiveness, I'm saying, as a good and loyal friend with good intentions and a big heart, who works hard to help your prospective friends to become their best possible self as a good and loyal friend with good intentions and a big heart, through creating, through sharing with your friends, I suppose, the very high quality procedural knowledge, and sharing with your friends very high quality theory to do with the topics which they are most interested in. So topics like the procedural knowledge and theoretical knowledge to do with how to help make them most powerful, or the theoretical knowledge, or the procedural knowledge and theoretical knowledge is to work out ways to help for them to become most powerful, most wealthy, to help for them, to help their business to become most successful, to help for them to have the most successful and fulfilling work within their job and their business, I suppose, to help for them to have the most fulfilling marriage, to help for them to focus on what matters, which is creating the right procedural knowledge and theoretical knowledge, to help for them to be able to better find the right balance between their work and their marriage and their kids and family and their friends. I suppose I'm saying about trying to, because life shouldn't be all work. Obviously work's very important, I'm saying, but you also want to be making time, I suppose, for your wife and your kids and your friends, I suppose I'm saying, as a well-balanced individual, I suppose, who's able to ideally be spending lots of time working while creating quality time within family businesses, I suppose, with your wife and kids and friends, I suppose. I'm saying it's a way to be multitasking by combining work within family businesses, also within the quality time, I suppose, of being able to multitask with creating the best best work, best family, best marriage, being the best father, being the best friends to your friends. So it's so important, I suppose, to be a good and loyal friend with good intentions, who works hard to perfect things and who works hard to move beyond just the mere words, I suppose, into turning those words, I suppose, into procedural knowledge and into theoretical knowledge, I suppose. So there is a term of garbage in, garbage out, I suppose, when people do just focus at low-level thinking and reading low-level books, I suppose, and not moving beyond them. It's garbage in, which produces garbage. Being able to then focus on reading high-quality books, I suppose, and moving far, far beyond the theoretical knowledge, I suppose, the procedural knowledge, I suppose, into creating a masterpiece. You can then be able to sell that knowledge, I suppose I'm saying, to powerful friends from within your online groups and within your email lists, I suppose, as good and loyal friends with good intentions and big hearts, who you're able to work hard to share much higher quality work with them, so that they then know you, like you, and trust you. So it really is a very important endeavour, I suppose, to be taking the time, I suppose, to think very deeply, I suppose, so rather than just hearing ideas like customer-focused, be more customer-focused, teamwork, how do you create a high-performance team, instead trying to take the time to do the theoretical work, I suppose, to then create, to perfect your theoretical knowledge, I suppose, and to perfect your to perfect your procedural knowledge and to perfect your theoretical knowledge, I suppose I'm saying. So I do think that when it comes to creating high quality friendships with powerful people, there is a lot of wisdom in the idea of enlightened self-interest being synonymous with self-interest, and the idea of altruism also being synonymous with so interesting, I suppose I'm saying, because powerful people mightn't like to be obligated to help you in return for you helping them until you have thoroughly impressed them, which is where altruism comes in. We are able to help powerful people off the scales a lot, I suppose, and only once you have helped them a huge amount do they then want to help you, I suppose I'm saying, because if you're if they're obligated to help you, they probably wouldn't want to become your friend, I suppose. If you're able to first seek to help them beyond their wildest dream, well, then they get very impressed with you, I suppose, and then want to become your friend and help you in return, I suppose, because you've been able to find a way to be helping them how they want to be helped from the perspectives of the topics which they do care deeply about, I suppose, about trying to have lots of time in text chat, I suppose, with powerful people. We understand that their time is important, so is their team's time important, I suppose. We work out ways to learn about the value and things which they care about, and also as well to, I suppose, be using creative reasoning, I suppose, when you first start out, I suppose I'm saying, to be thinking about the topics which you deem they care about, I suppose, like how can they become most powerful, how can they become most wealthy, how can they become their best self, I suppose, how can they build their best teams, how can they align their strategy with their sales, I suppose, how can they get elected as the next leader of nation, how can they become the best leader of nation within their history of their country, how can they become the most pro-business leader of nation in the country, how can they become the best leader of nation in the country, I suppose, how can they win a Nobel Prize, or how can they win a number of Nobel Prizes, or how can they win the best Nobel Prizes, I suppose, within the history of the Nobel Prize, I suppose. So rather than seeking to just try to do good work, I suppose, you want to be thinking very closely, I suppose, in terms of first principles, and also as well by reasonable biology as well, I suppose, as a way to be thinking very deeply in terms of the psychology of why people do the things that they do, I suppose, and trying to find ways, I suppose, to help for them to become their best self, so they'll then want to help in return, not because they're obligated to, because they want to, because you've been able to work hard to find a way to impress them beyond their wildest dreams. You have no respect, keep up the good work, because we're worth it.